Good morning and welcome to this session on Indian festivals. The idea of Indian festivals is a bit complex and reflects the heterogeneity of Indian culture and Indian ethos. Unlike other countries where we have a national culture and one set of festivals, here we have different festivals for each regions, and more importantly, more than festivals, we also have different celebratory forms for festivals. So, what are these different celebratory forms for festivals? Firstly, we see that we have certain festivals which are purely religious, certain festivals which are celebrations, certain festivals are celebrated only within the family, while some festivals like Ganesha Chaturthi are also celebrated as part of the whole social gathering. So, we also have another group of festival in which it is more of an enjoyment like Holi or Shankranti, where even alcohol is allowed and dancing is allowed. So, there is no one category for festivals in India. They can be religious, they can be celebrative, they can be ritualistic, festivals can be at home. Further, we also have a wide variety of festivals belonging to different religions, the great religions or the world religions of Hinduism, Buddhism, Sikhism, Islam and Christianity, and also other religions like Zoroastrianism and Judaism. In addition, we also have some other peculiarly Indian festivals which have Indianized the religions, like for example, festivals peculiar to the St. Thomas Christians of Kerala or the Tibetan Buddhists in India, in the Tibetan culture areas like Ladakh and Sikkim. So, first we start with some festivals which are related to the Hindu tradition. So, first we start with Vinayaka Chaturthi. Vinayaka Chaturthi, or popularly known as Ganesh Chaturthi, is dedicated to the Lord Ganesha. Ganesha is always shown in the posture of a elephant headed iconographic representation. He is a son of Lord Shiva, one of the sons of Lord Shiva along with Lord Kartikeya. There are different names for Ganesha, that is Ganesha, Ganapati, Vinayaka, etc. Normally, we celebrate this festival first or give an introduction to this festival first, because in Hindu tradition generally it is believed that any festival ritual which is started must first be started by an offering to Ganesha, because he is also known as a remover of obstacles. The festival of Ganesha is very interesting because it has underwent a radical change in the 19th century onwards, since the freedom struggle, due to the efforts of Bal Gangadhar Tilak, also known popularly as Lokmanya Tilak, in Western India. Earlier, the festival was celebrated within the confines of one's home, wherein sweets or modaks, as they are called in Maharashtra, and by different names, were made and offered to clay idols of Lord Ganesha. The idols were kept in the home for 3 days, or in some traditions for 10 days, after which they were ritually immersed in the water of the wells, tanks, or in some places the sea, like all other idols, because idol which is not proper, means an idol which is made of stone or metal, can only last and therefore is fit to be worshipped. An idol which is not made of stone or metal, but made of perishable materials like the material which you are seeing here, cannot last for long. It is bound to develop certain cracks or certain damages. Therefore, this idol does not suit the Shilpa Shastric definition of a image and is not fit to be worshipped. It has but performed its ritual duty and therefore has to be ritually disposed of, which is a celebration. The particular idol which you are seeing here of Ganesha is an idol which is used for public celebration in the pandals. So, here we have devotees coming and paying obeisance to Ganesha. Here Ganesha is depicted with 4 hands. One hand shows the Abhaya Mudra or the fear me not posture, whereas the other hand carries the traditional arms or the paraphernalia associated with Ganesha, and the other 2 arms also show the different iconographic positions known as mudras. This is another close up picture of Lord Ganesha who is taken, and you can also notice there are 2 or 3 other statues of Ganesh in the side. So, these are being taken in ritual procession to be immersed after the 10 days of the festival. The festival of the Ganesha Chaturthi also symbolizes good omen, and it inspires the devotees to put faith and trust in God, and from this we see the system or a new calendar of festivals starting all over India. We now proceed to another important festival, that is the festival of Shera. The festival of Shera, etymologically the word Shera signifies the word has 2 parts. Thus, the word thus means 10, and it is self evident from this that it is a festival of 9 days, or as it shows 10 days, that is the 9 days or the 9 nights as it is known as Navratra, 9 after which the 10th day is the end, and the 10th day is known as Shera. Here we have one of the different types of celebrations of Shera, that is the effigy of Ravana, the demon king who is being burnt. According to tradition, Ravana was the mythical king of Sri Lanka, and also the person who was supposed to have abducted Sita, the epitome of chastity and the wife of Lord Ram. So, there was a battle between Lord Ram and Ravana to retrieve Sita from Lanka, and ultimately after Lord Rama emerged victorious, it symbolized the victory of good over evil and also faith and persistent effort. And here by seeing that when Ravana is being destroyed, it shows a destruction of evil. Normally Ravana is shown as a 10-headed demon, but here he is shown only with 1 head. There are many explanations for this. One of the explanation is that the 10 heads of Ravana were that he was wearing a necklace full of pearls, and the pearls were of very high quality. So, whenever one saw him, that 9 other heads used to be reflected in the pearls. This is one aspect of the celebration of Shera. We now go to another aspect of the celebration of Shera. In Shera, we also have different forms of worship, that is worship to the Devi or mother goddess, who is the source of all creation according to the Shakta tradition. The mother goddess is worshipped under different names. In some places she is often associated as a village goddess, whereas in some other places she has acquired the status of a patron deity of some regions. Every region in India or in every part of the world has a patron deity. For example, the patron deity of Madurai is Madurai Meenakshi, the patron deity of Varanasi, Gorakhpur is Lord Gorakhnath. So, similarly we have patron deities for each region, like Saint Vladimir is a patron deity for Russia, or Avalokiteshvara in the form of Chenresi, who is now represented as the Dalai Lama, is the patron deity for Tibet. So, similarly we have certain patron deities, particularly in the hill regions of North India, particularly in the states of Himachal Pradesh and Uttaranchal, where Durga is known by different names as Chandi, Chamundi, and she is a patron deity. So, this is the occasion for her worship, and it is seen that good quality stones are not available in the Himalayas, and since good quality stones are not available, most of these iconographic depictions are done here in metal. Here we see that the goddess is carried in a ritual palanquin in Himachal Pradesh. The goddess is carried in a ritual palanquin according to honors befitting the chief. That is, she is taken from different villages. We have now 3 different palanquins arranged side by side with images of 3 different goddesses. All of them are brought to a particular place which is originally the regional headquarters or the place where the different markets meet. It is in this particular place that we see the different villages coming from the areas and reaffirming their faith according to their tradition every year. The procession does not go only with the palanquins, but also to the accompaniment of music and drums, which shows that it is also, as we had already seen, that the festivals in India cannot be classified purely as ritualistic, but also in addition to the ritualistic element, we also have the element of dance, pomp, splendor and enjoyment. Many other animals are also sacrificed, though some of the orthodox elements disprove of this factor. The animals are sacrificed in the belief that once the sacrifice of an animal is made during this day, there would be no other accidents involving the loss of any human life. Normally, goats are sacrificed on this day, and the sacrificed animal is distributed among members of the community and feasting takes place. This is a festival in Himachal Pradesh. We now have another different variation of the same festival being celebrated in southern India. Here we see that there are different steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On these different steps we have idols of different gods arranged here for the 9 days, after which they are ritually removed. The gods are arranged here for 9 days, showing that, and here we have 2 coconuts, that is a coconut broken into 2 halves, showing the ascendancy of the whole Hindu pantheon and to whichever beliefs, traditions they worship in, whether it is the local tradition or the choice of gods. This arrangement is known as the Gulu. The celebratory element comes into full focus during Navratra in the state of Gujarat, where we have the Garba dance. The Garba dance originally used to be performed by men and women dancing with sticks. We had just now seen the presentation of the Garba dance, that is, there are different types of Garba, particularly men and women dance for 9 days with sticks. This dance was supposed to have begun with Lord Krishna, who is said to have danced with the gopis, and that is 16,000 gopis or women. So, this particular dance is a residue of the earlier pastoral traditions of Gujarat, because we see here that before the rise of agriculture, the region of Gujarat and the adjoining regions had large amount of lands which were not fully cultivated, but only semi-nomadic people used to inhabit here. So, they followed pastoralism and agriculture. So, this is a residue of the earlier pastoral traditions. We now go on to another aspect of Dashera, which is known as Ayudha Puja. Originally the word Ayudha signifies weapon, but now since people have, earlier there were only 2 types of weapons, that is weapons of war and weapons of agriculture, which used to be worshipped, and on this day the weapons are not taken out. Today this festival is performed in factories, and on that particular day the machines are not put into use. Similarly, the agriculturist does not work on that day, but only worships his tools. Here we have some set of tools, and on top we have the vehicles in Mysore and Tamil Nadu, which are being worshipped, particularly in South India on this day, in the belief that if the vehicles are given their due and treated, because these are the source of our sustenance, of our bread, then they would not create trouble in the future, particularly accidents, etc. So, here we have an intertwining of religious beliefs along with superstitions, etc., because it is believed that even if there is an accident on this day, it may lead to something bad. This same belief is also prevalent on all the New Year days. Here we see that while Dashera is over, another new festival starts, that is Diwali, and on the day of Diwali we have, while the whole of India celebrates Lakshmi Puja, we have Kali Puja in Calcutta. Calcutta or the Bengal region comes alive during this particular season. We see that this puja also, like the Ganesh Puja, is a festival which is celebrated both at home and also in the public domain. In the public domain it is famous for the pandals. Pandals are a particular type of tents which came into existence in India as a form of temporary architecture from the 16th century with the rise of the Mughals. These tents are actually a part of the Central Asian tradition and are made of applique work. The peculiarity of the Calcutta tents is that every year they have a different type of theme. For For example, they reflect the world concerns. In the year following the World Twin Trade blast in New York, most of the tents reflected the Twin Towers. So, we have different tents for every year showing the presentation. This is a picture of the earlier slide showing the Gulu, which is much more clearer during the Shera. And now we go on to Diwali. The word Diwali, also known as Deepavali, Deepavali means the festival of Deepa. Deepa means lights. So, Deepavali is shortened to Diwali, and it means the festival of lights. This festival of lights also has different interpretations, and we can focus on some of them. So, here we see that this is the festival of lights. It is regarded as one of the most important festival of the Hindu calendar, and it is celebrated with great pomp and splendor. The name Diwali signifies rows of lighted lamp. Here we see that there are different interpretations given. For example, in North India it is said that this is the day which is marking the return of Lord Ram to Ayodhya after his defeating Ravana. Whereas in some other parts it is also known as Naraka Chaturthi, meaning the day Lord Krishna defeated the demon Naraka. Anyway, both of these acts signify the victory of good over evil. And unlike Diwali, which is understood mostly in textbooks as a festival of only lights and sweets, we see that there are 4 or 5 days associated with the celebration of Diwali. In Calcutta it is a Kali Puja, and here we have the Dhanteras. This is the first day of the Diwali. Actually, the celebration of Diwali lasts for 5 days, and we see that it begins with the lighting of lamps. The first day is the Dhanteras, or the day associated with worship to goddess Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth and prosperity. On this day, it is also an occasion to purchase gold, which is seen as a lasting, because on other days it is considered not so auspicious. The second day belongs to Kali Chandash. On this day, worship is performed to Hanumanji to remove the inauspicious and fear and evil planets and spirits that cast spells on us. It was also on this day that Lord Krishna vanquished Narakasura, and that's why it's known as Naraka Chaturthi. The day 3 is the Diwali, the grand day accompanied by the bursting of crackers and lights. The bursting of crackers starts early in the morning to announce the herald of the day from the twilight. The passing of the twilight and the birth of a new day also means the new year, which is known as Nutan Varsh. On this day, the business community, particularly in Western India, start maintaining new account books for the year. Another festival, Holi, cannot be really classified as a ritual but as a celebration. Some of the scholars of history, particularly history of religion, opine that the festival of Holi is a residue of the earlier festival in which Lord Kama, the god of love, used to be venerated by the aboriginal people of India, and it has survived to this day like many other festivals. For example, the festival of Chatth, which is celebrated in eastern India, which also is a festival venerating the gods and has a very ancient origin. Normally, Holi is associated as a festival of colors. On this day, we also see that many of the people drink bhang in good number. The festival begins with the ritual burning of old clothes, for which one scientific explanation is that the houses are whitewashed and the old clothes are burnt so that the bacterial residue is thrown out. It is said that this is Holika, who was a demoness and who did not allow Prahlad, the son of Hiranyakashipu, to worship Lord Vishnu. So she had a boon that she could not be consumed even by fire. And so when Prahlad jumped into the fire, he was saved in the last minute, and Holika's boon did not work. So this is the meaning, etymological meaning of the word Holi. During this festival, we see that it is celebrated all over India, particularly in a very boisterous form in North India. Here people of all countries, now even foreigners, come to celebrate Holi to experience the celebrations, not rituals. And here this particular clipping shows you the person who is an ordinary man, giving explanations about Holi and its association with the gods. Here in another setting we see the people who have already imbibed bhang, a mildly narcotic drug made from a plant, also taken with milk, and dancing boisterously. Here many of them also are filling up their water guns, locally known as pichkaris, and spraying colored water on all. Here on this day people throw to the dust all the social rules which inhibit them, particularly the codes of behavior, and many songs are also sung. Some of these songs are often bordering on the mischievous. Women also traditionally who are consigned to the interiors of the house also take part in this festival in a very grand way. On this day they are also allowed to take bhang and participate in full form. Many of the youth also see this as an outlet for their everyday activities. Thus, music is in full blare, the city is closed, and people are on a holiday. This is also a festival which sees a transition from the winter to the spring. This particular scene captures the mood of Holi, which can be seen and replicated in almost all the towns of North India and to a large extent in Eastern India. To this day, Holi is also being celebrated in other parts of South India due to the greater intermingling of people.
India biggest festival of India. In a bridge, Holi is like a spiritual love each other.
As we had seen in the particular clipping on Holi, that many of the people were dancing in a very boisterous fashion. This also shows that people of different class and different castes can participate in Holi. It is one occasion where people throw color on any other, known or unknown, without any fear or favor, because it is on this day all social rules are overturned. Many of the children play pranks on the elders, while some of the cities are known for celebrating different types of Holi in a lighter vein, like Holi being played with stones or Holi being played with lathis. So this particular festival is actually a festival of farmers and festival of all sections of Indian society. Here we see the Holi bonfire being lit. Next we go to another festival which is also around this particular time of the year and falls on January 13th, 14th and 15th every year. This is known as Pongal and one of the most important festivals of Tamil Nadu. The word Pongal again etymologically comes from the word Pongu. The word Pongu means to boil, and as we have seen here that rice is boiling. Rice is boiling and overflowing. So it symbolizes, the boiling rice symbolizes bounty. Rice is cooked here in pots which are decorated, and this is the first rice after the harvest. It is normally said that the first harvest is bountiful and therefore the year should be bountiful. Pongal is a 3-day festival. So on the first day is known as Bogi. People clean their homes and then throw away all the waste material and make a bonfire out of this material. On the second day we see that is known as a Perum Pongal. It is also called the Surya Pongal because people worship the sun god and his consorts. So here we see the women preparing the ground for worshipping the sun god and his consorts. On the third day we see here on the second day the central courtyard of the house is decorated, and since Pongal is a festival associated mainly with the farmers, we can see the rice which was overflowing and then thanksgiving to the sun god. The third day is known as Mattu Pongal. The word Mad means cow, and Mattu Pongal means is a tribute to the best friend of the farmer. So here on this day, bullocks are gaily decorated and then fed sumptuously with good food, particularly some of them even feed them rice and also some sweets, and the bullocks are all patted, cleaned and taken around in decoration. Here the houses are also decorated on this day with lot of rangolis known as locally as kolam. Some of the people use the rangolis made of rice flour in the belief that the birds who eat the rice flour take the message to the skies. The festival of Pongal is also incorporating some other traditions of Tamil Nadu which date back to a very early historical period and are associated with bravery. This is known as Jallikattu. This picture shows certain people trying to tame a bull. This taming of the bull is supposed to show the bravery of the person, and here we have the picture of hundreds of people trying to tame the bull, and we have seen that on the horns of the bull we have many flowers, and the person who tames the bull is more or less gored, and many of them eventually meet a fateful end. Some of them the stomachs are slit open or have grievous injuries. Though animal rights activists have tried to ban this, the people see it as a part of their tradition and culture. This event of Jallikattu is also a part of the Pongal. We next move on to the neighboring state of Kerala, where we have the festival of Onam. The festival of Onam is celebrated normally is a 10-day affair and is celebrated in the period around June to July. Here is a 10-day festival in the month of Chingam according to the Malayalam calendar. The first thing one notices about the festival of Onam in Kerala is that is a beautiful flower arrangements. To whom are these flower arrangements made? It is said that long before, the name of the etymology of the name Kerala comes from the word Cherala. The word Cherala comes from the Chera region, that is the three main dynasties, that is the Chera, Chola and the Pandya. So the region of Chera became Cherala, Cherala became Kerala, and Kerala was supposed to at that time be having been ruled by a very prosperous, and it was a very prosperous state ruled by a king known as Mahabali. Mahabali devoted all his energies for the upliftment of the people, and there was plenty everywhere and justice. During this time it is said that Lord Vishnu took the avatara of Vamana and asked Mahabali for a boon, and he said that he wanted 3 steps of land. Lord Vishnu in the guise of Vamana took for the first 2 steps. The second step, the third step he kept was so large that it covered the entire kingdom. So Mahabali had to ultimately leave his land. He asked for one boon, that every year on this particular day I would like to come and visit my subjects. So on this day people welcome Mahabali with the Poo Kolam. We have seen the Rangoli or Kolam in Pongal in Tamil Nadu, and here we have the Poo Kolam or the flower Rangoli, which is again used to welcome Mahabali. So the other part of the Onam is known as the Ona Sadhya. This is a traditional type of Onam meals eaten in plantain leaf. This is the plantain, this is the plantain chips, or this is the pappadam or papad, the rice. In Kerala people mainly eat the parboiled rice, and then these are the different vegetable preparations. So we have Onam being celebrated here, cutting across all class, caste and religious boundaries. There are many dances associated with Onam, and these dances are performed both by men and women at all levels. Some of the dances are classical dances, whereas some other dances are folk dances. Among the folk dances we see the tiger dance, or the pulikali, or some other dances which are of a semi-classical character performed by the women. We also have boat race, etc. during Onam. This is the boat race taking place in Alleppey. So here this has been made into an international tournament called the Jawaharlal Nehru Boat Prize. So this is the Aranmula boat race. So we have also another boat race in Alleppey. So these boats are known as the Chundan Vallam, or the long snake boats with hundreds of rowers, each of them coming from different regions or villages and vigorously rowing. Actually they practice for months before this to take part in the boat race. So here
Kerala, India's southwestern state, is a ribbon of land on the southern tip of the Indian subcontinent, sandwiched between the Arabian Sea on one side and the Western Ghats at its eastern boundaries. God's own country, as it is popularly known, Kerala is literally heaven on earth. It is a land of splendid beaches, emerald backwaters, outstanding upscale resorts, handsome hill stations and wildlife retreats. Woven with the silken strings of folk dances, traditional music, temple traditions, vibrant festivals, enigmatic rituals, the Kerala culture is a glittering mosaic of the long-standing traditions of a land steeped in antiquity. This visual culture finds its utmost expression in the vibrant repertoire of art forms and festivals, from Kathakali to Kalaripayat, Panchavadayam to Puram. Festivals and celebrations are part and parcel of any culture. For a Malayali, Onam is the biggest and most important festival. It is a harvest festival and is celebrated with joy and enthusiasm all over the state by people of all communities. Elaborate feasts, folk songs, elegant dances, energetic games, elephants, boats and flowers all are a part of the dynamic festival called Onam. The legend says during the reign of King Mahabali, Kerala witnessed its golden era. The popularity of the king could not be tolerated by the gods, and they surreptitiously sent him to the netherworld. Mahabali's request to visit his people once in a year was granted by God. This annual visit of King Mahabali is celebrated as Onam every year. The rich cultural heritage of Kerala comes out in its best form and spirit during the 10-day long festival. People of Kerala make elaborate preparations to celebrate it in the best possible manner. The most impressive part of the Onam celebration is the grand feast called Onasadya, prepared on Tiruvonam. It is a 9-course meal consisting of 11 to 13 essential dishes. Onasadya is served on banana leaves and people sit on a mat laid on the floor to have the meal. Another enchanting feature of Onam is Vallamkali, the snake boat race held on the river Pampa. It is a colorful sight to watch the decorated boat oared by hundreds of boatmen amidst chanting of songs and cheering by spectators. There is also a tradition to play games collectively called Onakalikal on Onam. Women indulge in cultural activities. They make intricately designed flower mats called Pookalam in the front courtyards of houses to welcome King Mahabali. Kaikotikali and Tumbi Tullal are two graceful dances performed by women on Onam. Folk performances like Kumatikali and Pulikali add to the zest of the celebrations. Dear brothers and sisters, once again the celebration of beauty, love and goodness is at our doorsteps. We the Malayalis of Satyanilayam take this opportunity to wish you all a very happy and prosperous Onam.
We now come to the end of a beautiful period of Onam, and when the people of Kerala again eagerly wait for Mahabali to come next year. We have similar such festivals associated with the agricultural calendars. The peculiarity of festivals associated with the agricultural calendar is that whenever the festivals take place in winter, we have foods which are cooked are very hard and also are fried, whereas the festivals in summer the foods are light and also very watery, signifying the link between festivals and the production process. Here we have another famous festival known as the Bihu of Assam. Normally there are three types of Bihu celebrated here, that is the Magh Bihu, the Rangali Bihu and the Bogali Bihu. The Bihu festival is another festival associated with the harvest of Assam and is a period when both men and women dance and also present tableau. It has now acquired the status of a festival not only in Assam but also in other places where the Assamese diaspora live, and many tableaus are arranged by the State Department, etc. This is another close-up picture showing women dancing during the Bihu celebration to the accompaniment of music. This is also another clip of the same thing. This is also another clip showing Bihu. We have other festivals associated with the great gods and goddesses. Of great importance is the festival known as Sri Ram Navami, which is associated with the birthday of Lord Rama. So on this day we have fasting, and then the idols of Lord Rama, his brother Lakshmana and his consort Sita Devi along with his trusted lieutenant Hanumanji are worshipped. Another important festival is Krishnashtami or Krishna Janmashtami, which is celebrated mainly in Vrindavan but all over India. It acquires a special flavor in Vrindavan because Vrindavan is also known as the region of Braj or Braj Bhumi, the region which is associated with the life and the activities of Krishna in the earlier period. In the later period, the activities of Krishna are associated with Dwarka on the western coast. So it is here in Braj that Vrindavan, the garden, takes special form during the Krishnashtami festival. In addition to these religious festivals, we also have some festivals associated with family and family rites. Of very great importance is the festival known as the Karwa Choth, which is an important festival of North India. The Karwa Choth is a festival observed by married women of their country, of particularly North India, who pray for the long life of their husbands. On this day we see that most of the women here, all of them are dressed in red color saris and have certain ornaments in hand and are gaily decorated. This particular decoration stems from, we also see that all of them are carrying the materials associated for the prayers, that is the puja. Here the object of worship is a clay pot or the karwa on which the day long focus is held, and they also keep fast during this whole day for the long life and later distribute sweets to other married women. It reaffirms the camaraderie of married women and also a belief in the institution of marriage. Another important festival which is specific to eastern parts of India, particularly Bihar and neighboring parts of Jharkhand, is the Chatth festival. The word Chatth comes from Che, meaning 6, and Hat from Hat Yoga is one interpretation of this festival. It is celebrated twice a year, and the hallmark of this festival is that women go and pray when it is celebrated even in winter, even in the freezing winter, they go and pray for the long life of the family, etc. in the cold waters. This is seen to be watched. Now Chatth is celebrated not only in Bihar but also in places as far as Guwahati and Bombay, where large number of immigrant Biharis live. We have another festival which is very important festival, but again of a semi-religious character and celebrated mainly as a bond between the brother and the sister. This is known as Rakhi in the colloquial form, but the full name is known as Raksha Bandhan. Raksha means security and Bandhan means a bond. So this is traditionally known as a bond of security, in which a girl tries a Rakhi to her brother. We see here that the Rakhi is not only tied to the blood brother, but also to the brothers who are adopted. It is also said that the Mughal king Humayun was sent a Rakhi by Queen Karnavati, after which he said that he would not attack her, but even further go a step further and protect her from any other attacks by different kings or queens. But since there was a clash between different Rajput princes and Karnavati. Now we have here another festival. This is Lord Krishna dancing and slaying the snake Kaliya. The snake Kaliya had come to kill him. This day is known as Naga Panchami. Naga Panchami is celebrated, and this is a festival which is associated primarily with women who are married and who want a child, because it is associated that the snake or the snake goddess is the symbol of fertility, and people offer milk to the snake goddess and the snake, that is the Nag, in different regions all over India. The shrine of the snake is always part of the temple. Sometimes we see that in the temple, the shrine of the snake, we see that normally the Hindu temple is shaped in a, always the prakara of the temple is in a rectangular shape. We have the central shrine where we have the main idol or the archa, to which the archana is done and is the object of focus. Sometimes we have the shrines to the different nagas. So this actually shows that it is not part of the original iconographic program or the architectural program, because normally we have the shrines only at designated points. But the fact that such shrines are part of the temple or very near the temple in irregular places shows that the popularity of these festivals and these deities cannot be ignored. So since they could not be ignored, they were therefore taken up and co-opted as part of the mainstream Hindu culture and identified with different gods and goddesses, mainly with Shiva and Vishnu. In addition to these festivals, we also have a different type of festival which again show a clear link between polity and religion. Here we see that this is a festival of Jagannath or the Rath Yatra. The Rath Yatra meaning the festival, the Rath is known as the chariot, and the Yatra means the journey of the chariot. It is normally a festival in which the Lord is taken out in ritual procession. We have two images of every god. One is the Anugraha Murti, or the image which is worshipped in the temple, and then we have the another image of the Lord known as the Utsava Murti, or the image which is taken out for procession. It is said that just as the rituals in the temple mirror the rituals in the royal palace, similarly the Rath Yatra is also mirror of this same practice. For example, we see that early in the morning the Lord is woken in the temple to the accompaniment of piped music, after which the sanctum sanctorum is closed, and then the Lord is ritually bathed and draped again in new clothes. Similarly, the king also used to be woken up to music, and then he was bathed and ritually draped, after which the king was given prasad. So here also the Lord was given offerings which are known as prasad. Afternoon, then the king used to meet the people in the court. Thereafter the Lord also used to hold audience for his subjects. It was afternoon siesta time, and then the temples are closed normally in the afternoon from 12 o'clock till 4:30. In the evening again the king grants audience, and then the temple is open for 3 hours. It is also a rule that every year the king used to go around the domain of his town looking for complaints or to see the welfare and well-being of his subjects. So at this particular time the people used to pour out their grievances or again reassure the king of their support for the people. It is in this belief that the Lord is taken out, because the word for king and the God are both same. Sometimes he is addressed both as Swami. So the God is taken out in ritual procession to these people, and this takes place along a designated route every year. This is another picture of the Jagannath Rath Yatra. We also have Rath Yatras in many different parts of the country and also in different villages and in different towns. Now we come to the festivals of the Sikh community. The Sikhs of Punjab have some festivals which are very important and celebrated every year. That is the Guru Nanak Jayanti, the Hola Mohalla and the Lohri. The Lohri is a bonfire festival it is synonymous with the Shankranti and celebrated on the same day. It symbolizes the passing of the Uttarayan. So we have the other festivals are Guru Nanak Jayanti, which is the birthday of Guru Nanak Ji, the founder of the Sikh faith. It also acquires a popular character with many dances being performed and the Guru Granth taken out in procession. The fact that the Gurbani is being read and then the Guru Granth Sahib is taken out in procession shows that after the 10 Gurus, the supreme leader of the Sikh community continues to be the Adi Granth. Therefore, the Adi Granth is only the item which is being worthy of being worshipped. We now go to the Muslim festivals of India. India has the second largest number of Muslims in the whole of the world after Indonesia, and here most of the Muslims celebrate all the festivals enjoined in the traditional lunar calendar of Islam. So we have one of the most important festivals known as Bakrid, also known as Eid-ul-Zuha. This festival is celebrated with, normally in popular parlance, it is associated with the offering of a goat. The story goes that it is celebrated to show the day of sacrifice. According to a legend, it started with a dream in which the Lord Allah Ta'ala directed Ibrahim, the prophet, patriarch Ibrahim, to sacrifice his son Ishmael. It was Prophet Ibrahim's faith in Allah Ta'ala and his son's faith in his father that he was saved, and therefore as a ritual mark every year a goat is being offered. On this day people visit mosques and wear new clothes and reaffirm this as a day of sacrifice. The other festival which is more important is Eid ul-Fitr, a festival which marks the end of Ramzan or the 40 days of fasting. It usually falls on a new moon night, and the day is not fixed every year but is dependent on the lunar calendar. Ramzan is the 9th month in the Muslim calendar, and then according to the traditional belief, the Holy Quran was revealed during this month. Then we also have other festivals called Muharram. This is a scene in a street showing people participating during Ramzan, particularly shopping in the night. The festival of Muharram is observed on the 10th day of the Muslim month of Muharram, and shows it is a day of mourning and commences with the processions in which the taziyas are taken in procession and people inflict wounds on them, particularly the males, showing the affection to the martyrs and as a day of remembrance. We now come to the festival of the Jains. This festival is known as Mahavir Jayanti, or the birthday of Lord Mahavira, who was a Tirthankara, 24th Tirthankara, or the ford maker of the Jains. We have 24 Tirthankaras among the Jains. So on this day, Lord Mahavira, the apostle of non-violence, is worshipped by Jains in a very simple offering. This festival is particularly popular in Western India. We now come to other festivals associated with different religious communities. Here we have the Buddha Jayanti, which is celebrated in Maharashtra. This is also another instance of the birthday of Buddha celebrated. Buddha Jayanti or Buddha Purnima is celebrated. Lord Buddha was born, attained Mahaparinirvana, and also attained enlightenment, all the three on a single day, on a full moon night. So these 3 days are known, it always falls on a full moon. So this particular celebration of Buddha Purnima is known as Saga Dawa. The word Dawa in Tibetan meaning moon, and is celebrated in Sikkim and Ladakh. Here the celebration is unique in the fact that we see this celebration taking place in the monastery. The monastery here is known as the Gompa and is a collection of buildings. People line up from all over the nearby villages to have a look at the monastery, and the main fact of this celebration is a dance around the flagpole. In the flagpole we see the monks dressed in different animal masks and other masks symbolizing the evil. This dance is known as the charm dance. The fact that they perform this dance every year shows that this is a eternal quest for fight between the evil and the good. Lord Buddha, it seems, during his period of enlightenment was tempted by Mara. Mara, the evil, is known in Buddhist not as any physical emanation but as a creation of the mind. So therefore the evil here cannot be destroyed, because destroying the evil would again mean violence. Therefore the evil is only sent back to where it came from. So this is a celebration of Sagadawa in the monasteries of Ladakh and also among the lay people in Ladakh, Sikkim and Arunachal Pradesh, as these are the Tibetan culture areas in India. We have here again the celebration of the Christians, particularly in the states of Kerala and Goa. This is a celebration in the Bomb Jesus Church at Goa, and this is a celebration, another celebration with traditional star singing. It starts a week before with the singing of carols, when groups of people, youngsters, sing the carols and go to different houses there to sing in the carols. Thank you. We have seen that the festivals of India are therefore not limited to the festivals. I'm so sorry. We have seen here that the festivals of India cannot be singularly treated as religious festivals or religious rituals or festivals of the family or festivals having only a popular character. Therefore, the festivals of India are at once religious, some of them are public, some of the festivals we have seen are private to be performed only in the domain of the family, while some of them are celebratory like Holi we have seen, and some of them are region specific, that is like Pongal, Onam or the Lai Haroba of Manipur, where the pre-Hindu gods or the Sanmahi religion is worshipped even to this day, and some of them also have their unique characteristics or expressions in different regions, like as we have seen the Karwa Choth or the Chatth. Therefore, to sum up, we see that the religious festivals and the other festivals totally constitute the celebration of different cultures and are an expression of Hindu, Muslim, Sikh and various different cultures in India. Thank you.